Story 1. On a peaceful evening in the summer of 2010, a tranquil campsite in Montana became the scene of a horrifying and fatal encounter. A man whose name has been etched into the grim annals of wildlife history fell victim to a brutal and unprovoked predatory attack by a black bear. The incident, chilling in its details, serves as a stark reminder of the ever-present dangers in the wilderness, where the rules of survival often take a primal and unpredictable turn. The victim, an outdoor enthusiast in his mid-50s, had set up camp in a remote area. Seeking solace in nature's embrace, he sat quietly in a chair outside his tent as dusk settled over the rugged landscape. This was his time to unwind, to connect with the serenity of the wild. But the wilderness, with all its beauty and tranquility, harbors shadows that even the most seasoned outdoorsman sometimes fail to anticipate. Unbeknownst to the camper, danger lurked just beyond the firelight's reach. A 365-pound male black bear, estimated to be between 7 and 10 years old, prowled silently through the underbrush. The bear was in peak physical condition, showing no signs of illness or desperation that might explain its behavior. But in a chilling twist of nature's capriciousness, the bear saw the man not as a presence to avoid, but as prey. Without warning, the bear launched a ferocious attack. The camper barely had time to react as the powerful predator struck, dragging him from his chair and into the darkness. The bear hauled its victim roughly 75 yards from the campsite, ignoring the man's desperate screams for help. The camper's cries echoed through the still night, reaching the ears of nearby campers and neighbors who rushed to help. Armed with only their voices and car horns, they yelled and honked, trying in vain to scare the bear away. But the predator was unrelenting, its focus locked on its prey. The horror of the scene left those who witnessed it helpless, unable to intervene without risking their own lives. One neighbor, summoning both courage and resolve, retrieved a rifle. Stepping into the night, he aimed and fired, striking the bear. But their intervention had come too late. His body bore the brutal evidence of the bear's relentless assault, a grim testament to the ferocity of the predator that had claimed his life. Wildlife officials conducted a thorough investigation in the aftermath of the tragedy. The bear was examined for signs of disease, injury, or starvation, common factors that can drive a wild animal to attack humans. Yet the findings were as unsettling as the attack itself. The bear was healthy, well-nourished, and showed no signs of rabies or illness. This was not a defensive or desperate act, but a chillingly unprovoked, predatory assault. The bear had seen the camper as food, a stark reminder that even black bears, typically less aggressive than their grizzly counterparts, are capable of such behavior. The tragedy underscores the unpredictable nature of wild animals and the need for vigilance in their territory. For those who venture into the wilderness, whether seasoned adventurers or casual campers, the following guidelines can help reduce the risk of similar encounters. Always be aware of your surroundings when in bear country. Even in seemingly peaceful moments, predators may be nearby. Store food properly. Bears are attracted to the scent of food. Store all food, trash, and scented items in bear-proof containers, or hang them at least 10 feet off the ground and 4 feet away from tree trunks. Bear spray is an essential tool when in bear territory. Keep it accessible at all times and know how to use it effectively. Story 2. In April 2021, a routine hike in the breathtaking forests near Durango, Colorado, turned into a terrible tragedy. Amy Malavolta, 39, had set out on a hike with her 2 dogs, venturing into the wild beauty of the San Juan Mountains. But on this day, the wilderness revealed its darker side, the side that would claim her life in a terrifying and ferocious attack. Amy's hike took her into a forest west of US Highway 550, an area teeming with wildlife. While the exact details of her final moments remain unclear, it's clear that she encountered a threat that few hikers could have anticipated. The attack left her body in a state that shocked even seasoned wildlife officials. She had been partially consumed, a clear sign of predatory behavior. The scene was not only one of violence, but also of the raw, primal power of nature unleashed without warning. When Amy failed to return home that evening, her concerned boyfriend reported her missing. The next day, search and rescue teams scoured the area and discovered her lifeless body in the forest. The grim reality of what had transpired became evident as officials examined the scene. Tracks and other evidence pointed to a black bear and her cubs as the likely culprits. The discovery of her partially consumed remains underscored the brutal nature of the encounter. Wildlife officers swiftly set traps and soon located a sow, a mother black bear and her 2 cubs nearby. The bears were euthanized as a precautionary measure, a standard practice in such cases to ensure public safety. Necropsies performed on the bears confirmed the horrifying truth. The incident was both shocking and rare. While black bears are common in Colorado, attacks on humans are exceedingly uncommon. Most bears avoid human contact, driven by a natural fear of people. Yet, in this case, the bears had crossed a line, turning a tragic death into a predatory act. Amy's death raised many questions about what might have led to such a horrific event. Did her dogs provoke the bear? Was she in the wrong place at the wrong time, accidentally startling the bear and its cubs? Or was this a rare case of a black bear displaying predatory behavior? While the exact sequence of events remains speculative, wildlife officials emphasized that the mother bear's actions were highly unusual. Black bears are generally shy and non-confrontational, preferring to flee rather than fight. Yet, like any wild animal, their behavior can be unpredictable, especially when food or cubs are involved. This tragedy serves as a sobering reminder of the dangers inherent in venturing into bear country. As human populations encroach further into wildlife habitats, encounters between humans and bears are becoming more frequent. And while most of these encounters end without incident, Amy Malavolta's story is a grim exception that highlights the importance of caution and preparedness. Story 3. A tragic occurred in September 2020. Patrick Majura, a 43-year-old hiker and outdoor enthusiast from Illinois, set out on a solo backpacking trip to the remote Hazel Creek area, a peaceful but isolated part of the park. The Hazel Creek area, accessible only by hiking or boat, is renowned for its lush greenery and historical remnants of a bygone era. However, its remoteness also means limited access to help in emergencies, making it a place where hikers must rely on their wits and preparedness. On the evening of September 11th, 2020, backpackers exploring the Hazel Creek area stumbled upon an unoccupied tent at campsite 82. The eerie sight raised their suspicions, as the campsite showed no signs of activity. Concerned, they began searching the area and soon made a grisly discovery across the creek: human remains. Nearby, a bear lingered scavenging in the area. Alarmed, the backpackers promptly alerted park rangers, who arrived to investigate the grim scene. An autopsy later confirmed the horrifying reality. Patrick Madura had been killed by the bear. The details of the attack remain speculative, as there were no witnesses to the fatal encounter. However, evidence suggested a predatory act, a rare but devastating behavior in black bears. Park officials euthanized the bear involved, a standard protocol to ensure public safety following such incidents. Madura's tragic death sent shockwaves through the hiking community and raised questions about the risks of solo backpacking, particularly in bear country. Black bears, while typically shy and non-aggressive, are opportunistic predators. Encounters between humans and bears often stem from a bear's search for food or a perceived threat, but unprovoked attacks, though rare, do occur. The exact circumstances of Madura's encounter remain unclear, but the outcome is a haunting reminder of the unpredictable nature of wildlife. Hazel Creek, with its history and natural splendor, has long attracted adventurers seeking an escape from the modern world. Its remoteness offers an unparalleled sense of solitude, but it also demands a heightened level of caution. The area's isolation makes it difficult for help to arrive quickly in emergencies, underscoring the importance of preparation and awareness for those who venture there. Story 4. The cabin by McKee Lake was a quiet getaway for the Blaze family. Surrounded by water and forest, it was a peaceful escape from their busy lives. Only accessible by boat or plane, it felt like a safe haven far from the world. But on August 2021, the wilderness showed its darker side. What started as a calm evening turned into a tragedy that would haunt the family forever. That evening, Stephanie Blaze stepped outside to make a call. She was using a satellite phone to talk to her father. The cabin's remote location had no cell service, so this was her only way to communicate. She updated her father about the trip and how things were going. Her husband Curtis was in the cabin's kitchen, about 98 feet away. Their 2 young children were inside, playing and unaware of what was about to happen. While Stephanie spoke to her father, a black bear approached the cabin. It moved silently through the trees, its presence unnoticed. Bears are usually cautious around humans, but this one was different. It wasn't curious or hungry. It was predatory. Without warning, the bear attacked Stephanie. Her screams broke the quiet evening, sending panic through the air. Her father, still on the phone, heard everything but could do nothing to help. Curtis heard her screams and ran outside. He saw the bear attacking Stephanie, its massive body pinning her down. Desperate to save his wife, Curtis grabbed a can of bear spray. He rushed toward the bear and sprayed it, hoping to scare it away. But instead of retreating, the bear grew more aggressive. The spray only made it angrier. Curtis realized he needed to act fast. He ran back inside the cabin and grabbed a gun. His heart pounded as he rushed back out to face the bear. He aimed carefully and fired 2 shots. The bullets hit their mark and the bear fell. The danger was over, but the damage had been done. Stephanie was gone. Wildlife officials later investigated the attack. They confirmed the bear's behavior was unprovoked and predatory. The bear was healthy with no signs of disease or malnutrition. It wasn't acting out of hunger or desperation. This attack was a rare and chilling reminder of how unpredictable nature can be. The Blaze family was left shattered. Stephanie's death was a devastating loss. Curtis's bravery saved his children and stopped the bear, but the grief of losing his wife was overwhelming. For the children, the place they once loved was now the site of a nightmare. This tragedy serves as a lesson for anyone who spends time in bear country. Black bears are usually not aggressive, but they are still wild animals. They can act in ways that are hard to predict. Preparation is key to staying safe in these environments. Story 5. It was a quiet morning in northern Ontario, the kind of day that felt made for simple pleasures. Stanley Franzak, a man in his 60s, loved the outdoors. He had spent many mornings picking blueberries in the same fields near his home. It was a routine he looked forward to, a peaceful way to spend the day surrounded by nature. On that particular morning, in August 2019, Stanley set out for his usual spot, ready to fill his bucket with fresh berries. Little did he know that it would be the last time he would enjoy such a peaceful outing. As the day went on, Stanley didn't return home as expected. His family began to worry. Hours passed, and when they couldn't reach him, they called the Ontario Provincial Police. They hoped Stanley had simply gotten lost or was caught up with something. But as the sun began to set, their fear grew. The police started their search early the next morning. They knew the area well. It was a familiar stretch of forest, a place Stanley had often visited. But when they set out to search, they didn't find him at first. They combed through the woods, calling his name, but all they found were tracks in the dirt and signs that something wasn't quite right. After hours of searching, the officers made a horrifying discovery. Stanley's remains were found along with a black bear in the vicinity. The bear wasn't afraid of the officers. It was close to the body and stood its ground as they approached. The officers didn't hesitate. They shot the bear, killing it to ensure they wouldn't be attacked. But it was too late for Stanley. His death had already been confirmed, and a post-mortem examination later revealed that he had been killed by the bear. The attack was unlike what most people would expect. Black bears are generally shy creatures and avoid humans. They don't usually hunt people for food. But in this case, the bear had acted in a way that was rare and frightening. It had attacked Stanley without warning, seeing him as prey. The investigators concluded that it was a predatory attack, not a defensive one, which made this situation even more chilling. The bear, which was healthy and strong, had treated Stanley as it would any other animal it might hunt. Stanley's death shocked the local community. He was a kind man who had lived a simple life, enjoying nature and taking pleasure in the little things, like picking blueberries. His family and friends were devastated by the sudden loss. It was hard to imagine how something so normal could turn so deadly in the blink of an eye. For those who love the outdoors, this tragic event serves as a reminder of the unpredictable dangers of nature. Even in places where bear attacks are rare, the possibility is always there. And though black bears are usually harmless, this incident shows that they can be dangerous under certain circumstances. Story 6. On October 29th, 2024, Fujioka set out for a day of deer hunting in the woods. He had been on hunting trips before and knew the area well. The crisp fall air and the excitement of the hunt had him eager to enjoy the solitude of nature. He had planned to return by evening, as he usually did. But as night fell and he didn't show up, his family began to worry. They tried calling his phone, but there was no answer. By the next day, the worry had turned into fear. Fujioka was still missing, and there was no sign of him. His family knew something wasn't right. They called the authorities, and search teams were quickly assembled to find him. The woods where he had been hunting were dense, and the terrain was rough, making the search difficult. But the urgency was clear. They needed to find him. The search continued through the morning of October 30. Around 11:30 a.m., searchers made a tragic discovery. They found Fujioka's remains in a remote part of the woods. The scene was unsettling, and the circumstances surrounding his death were not immediately clear. While it wasn't confirmed at that point, many feared that the cause might have been a bear attack, though further investigation was needed to be sure. The search had come to a heartbreaking end. Fujioka's family was devastated by the news. While they had been hoping for a different outcome, the discovery brought a sense of closure, though it was painful. The investigation would continue as authorities worked to understand what had happened during his trip. This tragedy serves as a stark reminder of the dangers that come with venturing into the wild. Hunters and outdoor enthusiasts, even those who know the terrain well, are always at risk of encountering wildlife, including bears. The wilderness can be unpredictable, and animals like bears can act in ways that are hard to anticipate. For anyone heading into bear country, it's important to take precautions. Always let someone know your plans before heading out. Carry bear spray, and stay alert to your surroundings. Being prepared and aware can make a big difference when facing the unpredictability of nature. If you plan to spend time in areas where bears live, you must take precautions. Always be aware of your surroundings. Bears are wild animals, and while most will avoid humans, it's important to know what to do in case of an encounter. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about wildlife and safety tips, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to catch our latest updates. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.